Dorian Williams had the most tackles versus the Colts. Boogie Basham completely balling out of control, as well as Osiris Torrance had a great day. Other rookie Dalton Kincaid getting physical out there, as well as other players that continue to step up in this competition to the 53-man overall roster. But welcome to my channel, Bills News Consolidated. Hope you saw my game film study review on Osiris Torrance. Man, he looked extra great versus the Colts. And the first thing I want to discuss is actually this defensive line that the Buffalo Bills rolled out with versus the Colts, who had Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly, two interior Pro Bowl offensive linemen, great offensive linemen there. Quentin Nelson, one of the best in the NFL, if not the best guard in the National Football League. In the Buffalo Bills, we didn't have Daquan Jones. We didn't have Jordan Phillips. You know, we really didn't have our big bodies in there, and the Colts tried to really pursue the run early against Ed Oliver and Tim Settle. Both those defensive tackles for the Buffalo Bills are kind of known to be more speedier interior defensive tackles. But sure enough, the Buffalo Bills, between Ed Oliver versus Quentin Nelson and Tim Settle versus Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly, man, we held our own and we stuffed them early and often against the run. And I think that's a great thing to see, knowing that we didn't really even have our big package out there. So I think in the interior offensive line, if you rewatch the game film, if you watch the tape, you're going to see Ed Oliver and Tim Settle actually having a great day. AJ Epinesa, I think, did fairly decent. You know, the ball really didn't go his way. Couldn't really make that many plays, but did what he could. Now, between Boogie Basham and Shaq Lawson is really what I'm eyeing up here. And when I watched the tape, I could see that Boogie Basham, man, he just has a little bit extra. You know, you could tell he's playing with a little bit extra effort. I mean, diving for the football in the preseason, just really trying to showcase his skills and fight for a roster spot. And then you take a look at Shaq Lawson and, you know, kind of playing a little bit complacent, maybe not playing with the mentality that a job is on the line. So I really do think it is between Shaq Lawson and Boogie Basham for a roster spot. I know I try to group together different skill sets and body types and how we're ultimately using each and every single one of these players. But to me, Shaq Lawson and Boogie Basham, both kind of that edge setter against the run. And then Boogie Basham has the versatility to play in the interior at the defensive tackle spot, which we saw versus the Colts. So, I mean, coming away with multiple sacks, multiple hits on the quarterback, Boogie Basham playing both right end, left end, and also defensive tackle, man, he's definitely showing a lot of value for the Buffalo Bills, especially as a pretty decently high draft pick. You'd hate to cut Boogie Basham. You know he's going to get scooped up by another team, as well as Shaq Lawson, you know, so we got to really see how that is all going to shake out. But it really eyeing up Tim Settle, Ed Oliver, who get flack against the run, not being able to hold their own against the run. Well, they just went against the Colts offensive line, who is great against running the ball. And man, I think we did absolutely great. Looking at the other rookies, I already mentioned Osiris Torrance in that game film study review. I think the mobility, showing how to rework his feet, to chop his feet, and regain balance and leverage was just absolutely great to see. You know, his head always pivoting, always seeking, looking to destroy someone to protect Josh Allen and our fortress here. I really think he earned another start at right guard. Dalton Kincaid really didn't get that many targets. I don't even know if he was targeted, to be honest, but we did utilize him in run blocking, and I think he did show a little bit of an edge, some physicality there, and, you know, sure enough, being out there with two tight end sets with Dawson Knox, yeah, I liked what Ken Dorsey did, kind of trying to set the tone and run the football first. You know, he has to impose his threat as really a run blocker in this defense. Some other things I saw from this game was really, you know, Dane Jackson kind of solidifying himself as opposite CB2. You know, Kyer Elam and Christian Benford. But I really think Dane Jackson has kind of already separated himself. You know, some people saying that interception If anyone, whoever was in there would have gotten that interception, but that's so far from the truth. Richardson, he pump faked on the play. Dane Jackson really read the play very well, stood and actually caught the ball. Who knows if Elam or Benford would have came down with the catch. Dane Jackson actually catches it, picks him off, returns it for some yardage there. I think that's absolutely huge for the short amount of time that he was in. It's just huge. It's absolutely huge. And seeing the rest of this defense, too, like Micah Hyde, Taylor Rapp actually doing fairly well, too. But the players that really popped out on tape to me was really Boogie Basham. I think Boogie Basham fighting for his job here, really just extra effort compared to Shaq Lawson especially. I think Boogie Basham did absolutely great. Kyle Van Denmark also getting the start at left tackle. Well, backup tackle to Deion Dawkins. A big loss here is actually Brandon Shell notifying the team today that he's going to be retiring, working alongside Osiris Torrance. Our starting offensive line between Deion Dawkins, Connor McGovern, Mitch Morris, Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown, they were only out there for 2 series, the first 2 series. So in the third series, their backup left tackle, Kyle Van Denmark, and our backup right tackle, Brandon Shell, to Spencer Brown, was in there, and he did very well next to Osiris Torrance, especially in run blocking. So this is definitely a big loss for the Bills. Anticipated, that we would have another depth piece to Spencer Brown, and unfortunately retires, and he did well. He really did do well versus the Colts. So who's going to fill into that role at right tackle for Bills Mafia? You got Tommy Doyle really fighting for a tackle spot. It's going to be interesting. Maybe the Bills opt to bring in another player to compete at right tackle for Spencer Brown. Thank God Spencer Brown has been doing fairly decently from what we've been seeing here. He did get a little bit shaken up, but was back the very next day with his back. So I think that maybe they're just being a little bit cautious with Spencer Brown. But things are starting to formulate for 2023. I'm definitely getting hyped up. Make sure you guys check out Buffalo Fan Shop in the link down below. Free shipping site-wide until week 1 of the NFL season. You can get Bills News Consolidated merch. There's all sorts of different stuff that you guys could get there. Also, for the game or concerts or whatever to finish your summer off, go to SeatGeek.com and use promo code BNC. You're going to get $20 off your next purchase. SeatGeek.com, BNC. Use that promo code for $20 off. You can do it for the rest of the Bills preseason or NFL concerts, whatever you guys want. So make sure you guys hit like, subscribe. It really helps support the channel. And go Bills.